just a quick note if you can hear me. You know, video game systems are making a transition into becoming supercomputers. And if you really want to know where this all began, you just look at the fact that like when the Sony Playstation came out, each model had a different set of BIOS, which meant that it was becoming, you know, more difficult to pirate, and it was becoming more complex. And they were telling you when the computer was built on the back. For example, this was manufactured in August 1995. Now this is the model SCPH-1001. Now, back when the PlayStation was popular, each model seemed to have its own identity. With the highest sought, the one that was the most highly sought was the model 7501. Sorry about that. Here we are. Sorry about it. There it is, the 7501. Okay. This was manufactured in April 1999. The other thing is that video game systems began telling you when they were manufactured. Now, I purchased several Sega Dreamcasts, which I'm not going to show you now. I mean, probably like 10 of them. And I was only to get, like, you know, a total of 2 matches as far as the date that it was manufactured, because they kept making them, kept releasing them to the stores. Here's an example of how the Dreamcast was doing the same thing. If I can find it, here we go. This one was manufactured in November 1999. So they're trying to turn this into more than a game system. Now, the reason why the model 7501 was most highly sought is because this was the last model that had the parallel I/O port. Okay, after this, the model 9001 there it is right there. Okay, the 901, and this model was built in December 1999. I think I can get one that was built sooner. Okay, you'll notice that this didn't have the parallel I/O port. The significance of that was that it couldn't play the Game Shark. So people began revering the 7501 as the best unit. I think they had the 5001 and I think they had the 3001, and all of them had different BIOS to it. And oddly, the original PlayStation, the 1001, I think that was the first. There might have been like a prototype, but ironically, despite its problems, and it was problematic. You know, it was prone to freezing more, but it actually ended up having the highest compatibility, and it was the easiest for hackers. So now, if you were a hacker and you had pirated games, you preferred the 101. Okay. Now look at how the 101 does have the parallel I/O port, the serial port. Now notice how this has audio-video jacks. Okay. And the other 2 units do not. Okay. Now let me see if I can. Here is this might have been one of the first 901s. In other words, without the parallel I/O port. Let me turn this one around. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry I'm wasting your time. There's no pause feature on this damn camera. Nope, that's December 1999. Sorry, they're both December 99. My fault. I thought that this was earlier. Okay, so this model was April 99, and this model was December 1999. So this, oh, I know. The only difference between this unit and the other is that this is modified. This is a modified system, and it doesn't look like any different than when it's not modified. So in 1999, Sony removed that parallel I/O port. I'm sorry, but it just took me 3 minutes to tell you that. And the reason is because I thought that there was more information on these systems than was revealed. I thought that they were going to give you information on BIOS and what have you, but now, here's the PS1. So this is the small model. After the Sony Playstation right there, they decided to downsize. Now the good thing about the PS1 was that despite it being very small, you can see how small it is, it was pretty heavy. So it wasn't like a chintzy, lightweight, downgraded version. It was compact and very easy to use and very heavy for its size. Okay, now if you turn this around, this is where they were cutting costs. It just had AV multi-out. You'll see it has nothing else. Okay, let me see if I can see when this was done here. Okay, now it's called the PS1. You notice how they got that trademarked? So in other words, this was not the PS1 second this was not the PlayStation second model or the Model 101. They adapted the name, the PS1. So it became different than the PlayStation. Obviously it played all the same games, but it's almost as if they were trying to alienate themselves from the Sony PlayStation and not trying to say, oh, this is our second version of this system. They build this as something different, and it seemed to have less problems than the original PlayStation. The original PlayStation was prone to freezing and skipping and what have you, and this was not. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me see if there's a date on this. I'm sorry, So this is called the SCPH 101. Damn, my fault. I can't see when this was manufactured. Let me pick up another unit and see if they're going to reveal it. Okay. I'm sorry, my mistake. My mistake. I thought that this told me when it was built, so I could give you an exact number. Shoot. Huh. Boy, you know, during my preliminary last night, I could have sworn this had a manufacturing date on it, but okay, that indicates that they probably wanted to mass produce it. As you know, the PS1 was being sold right up until probably 2006, 2007. It's probably in 2009 you can find them in stores, you know, being sold used and stuff. So maybe they did not put a date on this because they mass produced these. They mass produced them probably in where they mass produce them. Here's a warranty sale. Okay, but made in China. Yeah. So they must have mass produced these, meaning that a PS1 that you bought in 2006 might have been manufactured in 2001, and they don't want you to know that. Okay, so I think I've given you all the information that I can on these systems. Okay, sayonara. Okay, just a quick note if you can even hear me. You know, video game systems are making a transition into becoming shit.